Air sealing an attic is important because it stops the air. Insulation will act as a filter. It's not necessarily an air barrier. So it's important to have those two as a combination. They work really well together, stopping the air and then insulating on top of that. Okay, the materials needed to properly air seal an attic, it depends a little bit on the gap that you're trying to seal. There's a lot of different varieties. Like larger gaps, you want spray foam. Smaller gaps, you can use silicone. You can even use duct mastic to seal top plates in an attic. Proper attic ventilation is important to, the main thing is to mitigate moisture. You know, if you have an attic that's completely closed off and there isn't any airflow, the roof deck, there's a lot of different temperatures that a roof deck can reach during a day. And at some point in time, the roof decking can hit dew point. So the main reason you want the attic ventilation is for moisture, and also summertime it can get pretty hot up there. So to allow the airflow in the summertime to convect, through, that's why it's important to ventilate an attic. To make sure an attic is properly ventilated, you need to inspect soffit vents, you need to inspect the box vents, or in some cases there is a ridge vent. So it's a matter of, you can go up into an attic and turn the lights off and look for daylight. You want to see some daylight, in the different parts of the attic. That shows that you do have some air movement in that attic.
Different types of insulation. Here in Indiana, most of the time we see fiberglass, blown fiberglass. We see fiberglass bats. In some cases, it's a little more expensive. Rock wool, which has more of a fire retardant structure to it. Cellulose, which is a little bit heavier, actually quite a bit heavier than fiberglass. So you need to put more fiberglass in compared to cellulose because of its R value. You need to have a certain depth to it.
The recommended depth of insulation can vary depending on where you're at. Here in Indiana, we recommend 14 to 17 inches of insulation. In Indiana, we have two different climate zones, and the break is right at I-70. Pretty much below I-70, we're in climate zone 4. We go above that, we're in climate zone 5. So we're right on the edge of 4 and 5 here. Ductwork is a way that we can move the air from the HVAC system. You have a supply duct, which is supplying conditioned air, and you have a return duct, which is returning that air back to the HVAC unit for reconditioning. So ductwork is normally a closed system that allows the flow of conditioned air.
To identify the ductwork in the crawl space or attic, locate your furnace, and then it's either going to be above or below the furnace, called the plenum. From the plenum, there's going to be a main trunk. It's typically a big rectangle. It's carrying the main volume of the air. And then the branches are what branch off of that main trunk to your registers.
The different types of ductwork vary depending on the age of the ductwork. Early on, we did a lot of metal ductwork. Now, everything is mostly flex duct or duct board. Those are the two main ones that we see. The difference between those with the metal and the flex duct, the metal ductwork has less resistance. So the inside walls are smooth. So you're not going to get as much resistance when you're using a metal ductwork. The downside to the metal ductwork is 9 times out of 10, it's not air sealed. They didn't go back and seal the seams to make it airtight. Flex duct, it's very easy to install. You can go around different corners and even different levels without a break in it. But you can have some more resistance on the inside walls of the ductwork. To properly seal ductwork, when you're talking about a metal duct system, you just want to go find the seams. Any transition, they're very easy to see where the seams are on metal ductwork. With flex duct, it's a matter of going to the junctions. You can either tape them, you can pull the ductwork off and run some sealant around there and put the ductwork back on. Mostly what we see is a tape on the seams of the ductwork to air seal them. On metal ductwork, we like to use a duct mastic. It's a really thick gray paint that you can brush on, or you can put a rubber glove on and just smear it right on the metal ductwork, or you can use metal tape. You can use UL 181 approved metal tape. Duct tape is not generally something you want to use on ductwork.
The duct system is going to be as strong as the installer. So by it being properly insulated and air sealed, it ensures that that conditioned air gets to the desired location of the house. If it's not air sealed, it can mess with the pressures in the house, which means it can draw more air from the crawl space or basement. It can draw air in or out of the attic. And when you talk about air exchanges, if there's too many air exchanges, each time that volume gets changed over, you have to recondition it. It just makes it more efficient by not losing conditioned air.
The reason why you want to insulate ductwork, and there's different areas in a house. In a crawl space, insulation is not something that you want to do. You want to air seal ductwork in a crawl space. But up in an attic, that's a totally different story. Ductwork should be insulated just to keep the temperature from transferring out of the ductwork into the attic, just for a thermal barrier. And that's pretty easy to do with adding insulation over the top of the ductwork in the attic. You can use fiberglass bat insulation and roll it over the top of the insulation if you're not planning on adding insulation.
A knee wall is a wall that separates your attic air or unconditioned space to your conditioned space. A knee wall can be kind of like a vaulted ceiling, or a walk-in attic will have a knee wall. Insulating a knee wall, typically when builders build, they won't go above and beyond with foam board. So a lot of times it'll just have the insulation batting. A lot of times that insulation batting will fall away from the wall, and then that extreme air gets in behind it and touches the drywall and causing heat loss or heat gain. You want unfaced batting in those wall cavities, and then you want to run an insulation board continuously along that attic side of that wall. And you want to leave gaps in there to where you can spray foam in between them, making it completely continuous.
It's important to air seal and insulate a knee wall just so you have that thermal and air barrier between the outside and the inside.
An attic hatch is the access to an attic. It can be a walk-in door, it could be pull-down staircase. In older homes, those are typically located in the garage. Or you can hop up on a ladder and you push the attic access up into the attic. Typically that's located in a closet. To properly air seal and insulate an attic hatch, you want to run weather stripping around the perimeter where that hatch rests. And then on top of the hatch, you want to cut to fit layers of foam board, at least to an R40, which would be 4 pieces of 2-inch rigid foam board.
It's important to air seal and insulate an attic hatch just to improve the level of insulation in the house. In most cases, the attic hatch is the weak point in your thermal boundary. It's not something that you typically think about insulating. We'll see a lot of pull-down stairs that are not insulated on top. But if you look at a pull-down stairs assembly, you just have a 1/4-inch piece of wood. So it's important to add an insulated cover over the top of pull-down stairs as well. It's important to maintain a healthy humidity level in a crawl space and a basement, just because your house shares that air with the basement or the crawl. How you can maintain that is with a dehumidifier. If you're in a crawl space that does not have a vapor barrier, it's important to put down a vapor barrier and air seal. You have options to encapsulate, and you could spray foam the walls and close off the vents and just make the crawl space part of the home, like as if it was a basement. When you have it air sealed, it's easy to maintain a healthy humidity level in a crawl space when it's air sealed and insulated. Encapsulation of a crawl space is where you go into the crawl space and you mitigate any standing water. We have to find a way to get any type of standing water out of that crawl space. That's number one. We need to get down a thick vapor barrier, at least 6 mil piece of plastic on the floor, and run it up the walls. On the walls of the crawl space, you could use foam board, you could use a closed cell spray foam. All the vents are closed off, typically with a piece of foam board, and sealed around the edges. So you're basically sealing that crawl space off from the outside, and you're making it part of your home's conditioned space. as if it was a basement.
Some of the benefits members have experienced after encapsulating a crawl space are musty smells go away, they have warmer floors, and then sometimes we get down into a more damp crawl and there's ductwork starting to rust, and it mitigates that issue. Insulating the foundation walls is important, especially when it's encapsulated, because you want to keep the outdoor temperatures out and you want to keep the conditioned air in. So since we're conditioning that crawl space, we don't want that heat sucked out of the house to the cooler ground, because heat always travels to cool. You can make the house just more efficient that way.
Air sealing and insulating affects the efficiency of your home by containing the conditioned air. Your HVAC system is going to run less. You're going to have a much more comfortable home when you insulate and air seal. It's going to be easier to condition and make it a healthier home. Generally, as a rule, air sealing and insulating has a return on your investment of 3 to 5 years. And that is a really fast return. I mean, in some cases it will be faster. If you're very low on insulation, I mean, you could see your return on your investment, back in just one winter.